Good afternoon from AIM Congress in Abu Dhabi. Very pleased to welcome Mr. Kerry Adler, CEO of SkyPower Global. Thank you very much. Since our last session, basically, things have changed geopolitically, globally, with lots of challenges, but also challenges might bring opportunities. Where are we? We are in UAE, very much focused on investing in Africa and being the hub for Africa. What are the next opportunities for us here in UAE towards Africa?
I think what we're seeing here now, since we've spoken last, which was, towards the end of last year, we've seen a cataclysmic change of government policies, and with the tariffs that have come quite hard. I mean, I saw today the Hong Kong exchange falling dramatically. These are aberrations, these are white swan events, but it doesn't change the thematic approach, and that is that the world needs energy. Power is power.
Absolutely.
And
it's like water.
Like water.
Like oxygen.
Right. And when you plug in your hairdryer or your blender or your toaster, you don't really know whether you're getting nuclear, oil, hydro, solar, or wind.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you care about is power comes out.
Yes.
And what you also care about is that the cost of that power is as low as possible.
Yeah.
So any tariffs, embargoes, trade issues aside, at the end of the day, China makes the vast majority, over 90% of the world's supply of solar panels.
Yes.
And they're just going to keep making them.
Yes.
And
we here in the Middle East, you don't think that will be affected in terms of prices?
I think the Middle East is in a very opportune moment now. The Confucius have these views of when to, they talk about the art of war, and it's all about strategy. I like chess, but to me, I think that liberation from one policy to another sometimes doesn't result in things that were intended. I think the unintended consequences for those that want to impose tariffs or re-tariff, I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to cause these countries to go choose other partners.
Yes.
So if I was President Xi right now, and I'm sitting here looking at the state of today, everything's subject to change, and no disrespect to any government, because every government's free to put their policies forward, but this is the time, the opportunity to say, let's find a replacement for that consumer.
Yes.
Because that's survival.
Yes.
And survival is a basic instinct.
Absolutely.
There is no, it's like this. It was interesting. I was trying to explain to my younger son what the impact of tariffs are. And in the most simplistic form, it goes like this. Today you buy an iPhone in the United States, $1,000. Now with the tariffs, it's going to be $1,300. The idea is that you impose these tariffs, and it will incentivize companies like Apple to make phones in the United States.
Yes.
But here's the fallacy. People in the United States aren't going to work for $3.50 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So when you move the manufacturing, which is the intent of a tariff, is to create jobs, which is a valid, job. I think it's a job of a president to help grow his economy. But you also have to look at what is the end result. So you're going to now put manufacturing in the US. American workers are going to want $15 an hour. That iPhone's not going to cost $1,300 anymore. It's going to cost $1,500.
Okay.
So if you take that same concept and you apply it to solar panels, yes, there is opportunities to build solar panel manufacturing.
Yeah.
The only way to do it cost effectively is to use highly automated plants. But that defeats the very concept of creating jobs, right? So there's the economic laws, it's economic parity, that the cost to make something in one country, relatively speaking, is equal to the other when factoring in the various costs of living.
Yeah.
Solar is just at the beginning of
It's here to stay, it's indispensable.
Not going anywhere.
In this uncertain world, how are we looking basically for securing funds, green funds, for the mega projects? And what is the position of UAE in this regard?
So 23 years ago, when I decided to get into the renewable business, people had different names for it. It was financing no one really knew how to put their heads around, and then over time it became green funds. Let me tell you, it's an infrastructure financing. the sun is guaranteed. It's not subject to any government's policies.
It's the nuclear reactor ever.
It's been around for billions of years. And if the sun were to fall below 60% of its current radiation for more than a week, every living creature on this planet would perish.
So you see the flow in the Middle East and in Africa and the region, wider region is carrying on.
You have sub-Saharan Africa, okay, where we are, at or below the equator, okay, has the best and most powerful sun that you can generate for 5-6 cents a kilowatt hour. I cannot buy a kilowatt hour in any country in North America or Europe for 5 or 6 cents.
Yeah. So the flow of funds, green funds, do you think that will be affected?
That is, when you look at what is an investment in solar, it's an infrastructure investment. People have to stop looking at it as green investment, but look at it as a infrastructure that's clean and has a 30-year guaranteed return. Because the sun annually is only 1 or 2 years. Now the challenge is that people haven't oriented their minds around it. They haven't recognized that. They look at it as, green financing goes into this department. But if they're financing a real estate portfolio, they're doing it through their infrastructure, a highway, a port, a border crossing, a bridge. That goes in infrastructure. But a highway needs maintenance, a lot more than a solar park. If you have a toll road, you have to make estimates. You don't know for certain if someone's going to build another road.
We have the public, we have the private partnerships. What about the people? Do you foresee a potential, like in other countries globally, to include the people in the partnerships and within the solar programs?
Here's the thing. I'm not acutely familiar with European style returns. I can tell you the North American returns on a infrastructure asset and a solar asset. Typically, they want early to mid-teens. When you look at the solar projects that we design and build, 18 to 20% levered annual returns for the life of the project. So now you open up to a very wide group of people. So imagine now that everybody could buy a piece, either large or small, almost like buy a bond, and they have a guarantee that every month they get a check. It's their dividend. The sun shines, energy is generated, and they make money. So democratizing and allowing that to happen is a financial mechanism that needs to be put in place. We haven't done it yet. We've built all of our projects using our balance sheet or financing that we've raised through third parties. But I think the time is here now because people are so sensitive to the impacts of the climate, but they're powerless to do something meaningful because they don't know how. What are they going to do? They're going to buy shares in a solar company? How about buying shares in a hotel? If you could buy shares in the Four Seasons and get a check every month for the customers that stay at that Four Seasons hotel, would you buy it? Well, the sun is like the Four Seasons. It shines year-round.
Mr. Kerry, thank you very much for being with us today.
Always a pleasure to see you.